I'm Reeves Kurtner, and this is In Your Business. Season 1 of In Your Business is presented by Moses Auto Mall of Huntington, online at mosesmeansmore.com, and powered by the Huntington Regional Chamber of Commerce and Kindred Communications. This week, we're talking about taking a local product national. We're joined by Dr. Brett Jarrell and Dr. Walter Netto, the founders of Serucell, a luxury skincare product that was developed and is still manufactured right here in Huntington, and it's taking off nationally. They're going to share the backstory of Serucell, their journey taking this product nationally, the benefits of being based out of Huntington, and more. Let's get in your business. So first thing, introduce yourselves, both of you, please, so we can, put the voice with the name.
Okay. My name is Dr. Brett Jarrell.
My name is Dr. Walter Netto.
And give us, I want to talk about your backgrounds before we start talking about Serucell.
Okay. I'm an emergency medicine physician, biomedical researcher. I'm from Huntington, West Virginia originally, and kind of in a nutshell.
I am a licensed physician with a background in general surgery. I've been a biomedical researcher for 15 years. I have done work on cancer stem cells, developing different treatments for burns and wounds. I also have done some work on bone and tissue engineering. But over the last about 8-9 years, I've been working on CCT, which stands for Cell Communication Technology, and that's why Serucell was born.
Okay, well, let's talk about that. Give us a brief overview of what Serucell is.
Yeah, sure. So I basically, like I said before, so over the last 8 years, I've been working on CCT. And what is CCT? CCT is the way that the cells communicate, and that's a series of commands and cells. It's basically the body programming. It's the way that the cells talk to one another. Most people don't know that your skin replenishes itself every 28 days. So somebody who is 9 years old doesn't have 9-year-old skins, but why doesn't your skin behave the same way that it did, when you were in your 20s or 30s? Well, it's because as we age, this communication gets lost. And at Serucell, we basically found that we can replenish some of these lost health communications that the cells have, and that's when you see a rejuvenation effect, and that's when Serucell was basically born.
Okay. So, what inspired you to start the product? How did all this go? Hey, that we can do this and create a fix for this problem.
Well, Walt and I, we used to be housemates, and so we'd have finished work or whatever we're doing, and we just have these conversations. And somebody had mentioned he was working on a particular project, and somebody was just like, "Wow, some of this, possibly could be turned into a skincare or something like that." And it wasn't what Serucell is, but it kind of sparked an idea. And we were watching things like Shark Tank and different shows like that, and we were seeing all these products that just seemed terrible. Like we scooped mud from the side of the river, or we put a bunch of sugar in the basement and mixed it with color, and now they're selling it. And I'm just like, there's got to be a better way.
Right. And
so with our background in research and medicine, we're like, why don't we try to do this?
What year is this?
14, 15?
Yeah, okay. Around that. Actually, I was working on burn and wound healing treatments, and that's where the CCT is starting to really come into fruition, understand, and try to own this body programming and trying to use it and harvest to a therapeutic effect. And when we thought that the same thing could actually be have applications for cosmetics, so we just tried just a really small batch in our lab just to see what people thought about it, and the response was overwhelmingly positive, and that's when we decided to go into skincare. And originally we just wanted to do this to fund our other research.
Okay.
Yeah. Because we never imagined to be in skincare. That was not something that we planned for it, but we had a lot more projects, and everything costs money, and we just wanted to fund our other projects, and that's basically the main reason that Serucell was born.
Yeah, the point of entry to skincare appeared a lot less. Unbeknownst to us, it's just as expensive as creating a drug.
Right.
So we entered the game with tens of nickels, and not realizing we needed tens of millions.
So how, going back to the beginning, 14, 15, how did you originally distribute the product? The beginnings of this product.
Yeah, I think we really we started in actually 2016, but
Okay.
we really only launched in 2019.
Okay.
So we were in a black box for a few years, getting all of our patents together. So once we did that's the next thing, which when it comes to distribution, there are two ways that you can basically do. You can go to direct to consumer, or you can go into retail. Obviously, we open a website and try to sell, directly to consumers, and we just I think our first basically carrier was the Greenbrier.
Okay.
So we put our product there and it started getting some notoriety in. But realizing how small we were and our limitations, in terms of just exposure, we thought that our best way to deal with this is just trying to get product on people's hands and let them try it. And that's how we basically got most of our traction, just trying to get on people's hand and let them experience and get and once they have a pleasant experience, we have a 70-80% retention rate, which is great. And that's how we got most of our distribution on. We have sold products at Bergdorf and Goodman, Neiman Marcus. We are right now I think on 10 of the Cosbar. We sell at some dermatology offices here in Huntington. Dr. Amy Vaughn at the Retreat carries our product. We also sell at some plastic surgeon's office, Marshall's Plastics. Dr. Peter Ray also sells our product. And so those are the ways Sloan Square as well.
Which was kind of a unique experiment because it's an art gallery.
Yeah.
And actually it's one of our top sales places.
Who is the ideal user for the product?
I guess our
male, female.
It's either.
Okay.
Yeah, it's unisex. It's probably 35 to 65.
Okay.
And that, it appeals to. That's kind of one of the great things about it. It works for everybody.
Sure. So you mentioned Greenbrier was one of the first places you had the product.
Yeah.
2019.
2019, yeah. So, right before COVID.
Right, great time, right? So
we timed it perfect.
Yeah. So from there, when did you recognize that you had a potential product that could go on a national level?
We knew that we had a great product. I mean, from the beginning. I mean, there was never a question. We knew that what we were putting out there, because the response that we got was such positive that we knew that we had a good product. Our challenge would be just exposure, just people try our product. So, but we knew right away that we had something really good.
Yeah, and one of the approaches we had, we knew we couldn't be the cheapest product. We just don't have the resources to make that kind of volume. But we knew we could make the best product, and we think our technology is not superseded by anybody. So that's the route we took: make the best product available, and then. We didn't want to land in the middle because then you just get lost, and that's kind of that makes it even harder to distinguish yourself.
And just to add to Brett's answer about who uses our product, and basically have two demographics really. You have a little bit of an older demographic that have already seen signs of aging. And like I said, restoring some of this health communication can help really diminish the wrinkles, improve tone and texture, boost elastin and collagen. But that is also used for a younger demographic, because you really start losing this cell-to-cell communication on your 20s. So if you can as you go replace what you're losing, is almost slow down the aging clock. So there is two demographics that actually
and younger people are younger to us, I guess, are much more interested in skin health than
this generation. You mean?
Yeah. This generation's way into it relatively. We grew up, we just got sunburned.
That's right.
There wasn't really SPF and all that stuff. That's kind of evolved as I've gotten older. This generation is very in tune with that and skin health and safety.
Right.
It's like going to the gym, right? If you've gone to the gym your entire life, it's much easier when you're 40 or 50 than to just start lifting weights when you're 40 or 50. So in a way, if you start taking care of your skin in an earlier age, it's just much easier to age gracefully, I guess.
Again, from the beginning, how did you package? Who packaged it for you? Where did you get all that? Where's all that side of this?
So we do everything here. I mean,
in Huntington.
In our lab, on 10th Street.
In our lab, I was packaging everything by hand.
That's great. Here locally.
Yeah, we still do.
Yeah, we still do. And we source our ingredients from the United States. We created our serum, which is a cellular-based serum, but we also add some things that we thought they would complement the serum, such as hyaluronic acid, vitamin C, vitamin E, and things like that. But everything was made in here.
That's awesome.
And from the cell culture to mixing, bottling, and fulfillment center, everything's in Huntington.
Do you ever see a potential where that would have to change and Huntington wouldn't be able to support you anymore?
No, I mean, we've actually fought to keep it here. We feel like, we like Huntington first and foremost. Of
course.
I grew up saying I would never move here, and I've done that nice. Now I don't swear as much.
Yeah.
But no, we have, Huntington's very comfortable. The cost of living, the cost of manufacturing is not terribly high. We have talent between the medical school and the biomedical school and the business school for that matter. Mm-hmm. Like if our goal is to scale, we think we have all the resources here to achieve whatever goals we have.
How many employees do you have?
Walters are full-time.
Yeah, we have about...
But we have a lot of people contracted.
About 10 to 15, contractors that work with us, but full employees, basically just me, I guess.
Sure. So did you all have to make any changes when you took it to a national scale?
No, because
same product,
same thing.
Yeah.
Because
just more of it.
More of it. We just prepare ourselves from the beginning. Even though we were small, we prepared to scale it. Yeah. So there was not any changes that we needed to make as we grew.
Yeah, when we first designed like our quality system and our packaging, everything was designed so that it could be scalable, but it would meet very high standards, and also at the time it was we didn't know whether Trump or Clinton was going to be president, so we were prepared for like if there was going to be even more regulation or FDA intervention, because we're in a kind of this gray space of cosmeceuticals. So we weren't sure where that was going to land. So we treat everything like almost as stringently as a pharmaceutical. We definitely are in line with medical device manufacturing best practice, and so that's all scalable. We figured create the culture now. We'll grow into it.
Okay. So you mentioned your best marketing is just getting the product in people's hands. Mm-hmm. That's easy locally. Mm-hmm. It's so easy even at the Greenbrier, 2 hours away, whatever it is. But again, going back to nationally, how do you market this product on a national level?
It's really tough.
Yeah.
So one of the challenges we have is we're a new product, a new brand, but we're also a new technology. So that takes a much more effort. And also, another thing that's a challenge for us is you don't get this instantaneous allergic reaction when your face swells or turns red. There's not this instant gratification.
Right, that something happened.
Yeah,
sure.
So it's kind of a slow burn to get real results. You have real efficacy. So whenever we approach marketing, we try to find, everything is based on value. We don't have a ton of extra money to spend, so we try to find the best spend that we can. So we try to target people that would utilize it, people that are in the space that evaluate things like this, or places that are leaders in the market that we could get some trickle down effect from.
And we also try to participate into events. Just this year, so for an example, so we were into the official Grammys bag.
Okay.
We were into the Oscars bag.
Everybody wins bag.
Everybody wins bag. We're gonna be on New York Fashion Week, just coming up.
We were on the Talk TV show.
We were on feature on CBS The Talk this year as well. and we just got invited to be a Rolls-Royce affiliate brand, and we'll be heading to London on October 6th.
Yeah,
that's unbelievable.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
That.
We thought the email was spam,
right?
Yeah.
Yes, we got a call from St. James Publishing House, and they were like, "We represent the royal family and Rolls-Royce, and we've been vetting you guys for the last 6 months, and we would like for you guys to represent the beauty category on this event that we're gonna do in London." And like as Brett said, we thought it was,
So how do you get in the Grammy bag? I mean, how does something?
So there are people that are facilitate that, and so we had some connections, and basically we asked them, and they checked us out, they vetted us, and they thought, yeah, this is something.
And the main people is people have to love your product, right?
You need somebody there to like you first.
Well, I mean, like, and because honestly, it's so hard to market a product. It's just such a competitive place. So if you don't have a great product, I mean, you're already lost.
Yeah.
So there's some great products that they don't even get out of the local market. They basically get shut down. But that's a key factor that you need to have if you want to develop a brand or a business. It's a good product.
Yeah, sure. And I'll add too, I mean, I guarantee it's a crowded field, like you said. I know there's of course products more quality than others, but if I guarantee Google wrinkle remover, I'm going to get 500 products, right? Yeah. And it's like you said, it's hard to stand out on that level.
And one of the things that was really tricky initially is so all these, you fall under this cosmetics law, and so you couldn't really say you actually were reduced wrinkles. You had to say reduce the appearance of wrinkles. So you have every brand using the exact same language,
of course,
so you can't really discern what is real and what isn't. So that's why money makes so much of an impact in marketing, because if you have a spend of $1 million a month on advertising, well, that's a lot better than what we're doing,
You mentioned this earlier, so let's talk more about this. So having partnerships and distribution, how did those original conversations go? Who did you reach out with?
Well, each of the companies, they have buyers, right? So what you can do, you can just enter your product for consideration, and you usually just send your product for consideration, and there is some paperwork sometimes that it is involved, and then you usually get an answer, yes or no, like a month or two after that. So, but most of these like retailers, big companies that also do retail, they have buyers.
Okay.
So you just gotta find and do your research, find who these people are, and try to get the product into their hands. And that's why it's so key to have a good product.
Right.
Yeah, we try to target the decision maker.
Yeah.
Who's going to make the final call.
Right.
And then we try to get our product in their hands. Easier said than done.
Well, I was going to say, and I bet once you get the first one or two, I bet it does get easier.
I mean, I don't think so. I think it's like you have the same battle with each, no matter how little help. The one thing is different. The smaller and regional, there's less bureaucracy than say a national firm. So that there's less people to deal with, so that can be helpful.
Well, I guess like another thing that people don't take into consideration is that once you get your product into these big retailers, the work doesn't end.
No.
You still have to support them. You need to go check, is everything doing okay? How are we selling? Do you need samples? Sometimes you visit the store, make sure your product is well positioned.
Training.
Because training, if your product is on the back shelf and nobody sees your product, nobody's going to buy your product.
Right. Yeah.
So there is a lot of work that goes after you got into these retailers as well. But the work really never ends.
Yeah.
What percentage of your all sales are retail versus brought directly from your website?
We have changed a lot since COVID. Before COVID, it was a much larger percent.
It's probably 80.
Much larger, what?
Retail.
Retailer.
Retail was 80%.
Yeah.
COVID, okay.
And then COVID came, and then everything changed. So we took an approach that we wanted to focus much more on direct to consumer product because everything was closed.
Yeah.
And so it's almost like an invert now.
Yeah.
It used to be 80-20, now it's 20-80.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's great. I mean, there's a lot of lessons there. I mean,
Do you use Amazon and people like that?
Not yet, but we're looking at.
Yeah, because one of the things that our batches, we do small batches. We joke it's artisanal, but they're generally a smaller batch. And our bottles, like one of the biggest challenges for us is there's a big capital spend up front to buy the packaging and buy bottles.
Sure.
So
how many at a time?
10,000.
10,000.
Yeah, and so we can get some better deals out of South Korea, but that adds probably 2 months of waiting to receive them, and so we had to learn like shipping and all that.
Sure.
So yeah, you're always learning something new.
Well,
and then but American-made products, you have to 10,000 would be lucky to find that. It's probably 30 to 50,000 initial. So it's like they don't want to deal with you if it's a small order. Relative to what they're used to.
You mentioned starting right before COVID, and now over the last 2 years or so, we hear slowdown. What's the word I'm looking for? Supply chain. Have you all ran into any of those issues on
No.
Not a ton, because we're the factory, and Walter in particular.
I didn't know I didn't know your bottles from South Korea, something like that, but that's good.
No, actually, surprisingly, we didn't have any any problems at all with our with anything that we needed. So
sure,
it's been good.
So what any unexpected challenges any unexpected challenges when you started taking this product nationally?
I think it's just scaling it is just really hard. It's
what do you mean scaling it?
Like getting people to know our name and subsequently try our product. It's just that is a huge challenge to get traffic to your webpage, create content all the time, meaningful content. We've worked with so many digital marketing companies, and every marketing company is really good at marketing themselves.
Okay,
right. And so that's
the issue that we had, is finding the right person to do marketing, because
that understands our science. I mean, we had one group that was supposedly just the lights out great for beauty in the beauty space, and they're like, well, you got 1 million hits last month on your webpage, and we had 6 sales. They're like, oh, fabulous! It's like we got their interns,
right?
So I mean, it's
also very different marketing locally and marketing nationally.
Of course, it is. Yeah, talk about that.
Yeah, because locally, number one, your target audience is very small, right? So if I want to run, let's just say I want to run an ad, I want to run a $300 ad. If I want to run in Huntington, everybody's going to see my product,
right?
Basically, right? But if I am running nationally, they get a lot diluted. So so that's when it comes to targeting, know how to target know your customer, and know how to actually target them makes a big difference. And that's one of the challenges that we really found, is finding a good marketing person that can actually understand that, because marketing a product nationally, it's not easy.
So again, you mentioned social media and digital. What other marketing have you done?
We've done PR, and of course we've done these events.
What do you mean by PR? What is PR?
PR, public relations,
yes.
in the sense that we use this firm out of New York City that was they would supply product to editors and to events. We partnered with a magazine called Ask Us Beauty. They're based out of Florida. They've championed us. They try to take a sober look at beauty and aesthetics and try to clear the white noise, and so they really appreciate how we approach our science. So we try to find partners that can elevate us, that are like-minded. But yeah, it's finding a marketing partner that understands what your vision is, and then is able to run with it.
Have you tried local media companies for that?
Yeah.
We have tried, but and trust me, we love here, but it's a small town, right?
Sure.
We need.
Well, there's no beauty marketing specialist in Huntington, West Virginia.
Yeah, you're right.
Yes.
There's great your great media marketing companies here in Huntington, we do okay. What we do, but we're not a specialist on a national scale in terms of beauty products and so forth.
Yeah. But having said that, the community has been very supportive of us, and we're very thankful for that. And even though Huntington is not a small, not a very large town, they support us. Yeah. And now it's just getting this support and just scaling.
Interestingly, our biggest areas where we sell are New York, California, and West Virginia.
Great.
And it's kind of it's kind of wild, right?
Right. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
So,
when you started taking the product nationally, what were your original goals, and what milestones have you hit so far that you're proud of and excited about?
Well, I think our original goal was just to everybody to hear about our product. When, like I said, we knew we had a good product, right? So just exposure, get everybody to hear, and and we knew that once they tried our product, they would usually come back, because we have a 70 to 80% retention rate. So if somebody just uses our products, a 70 to 80% chance that they will come back and purchase again. So that was like the thing that we thought on the beginning. Just let the product talk, for itself, and as soon as people would use it, we would get traction on it.
As far as like milestones, I think, when we first got in the Greenbrier, that was cool. Being sold in a national chain was pretty exciting.
What was your first chain?
Neiman Marcus.
Yeah, Neiman Marcus.
Okay.
And then the consistency, building relationships like with Cosbar. We've grown out through them. Every now and then we'll get a celebrity mention us or something. So that's kind of, a little pat on the back. Rolls Royce, this thing, man, it kind of blew us away, and we're excited to see what comes of this.
Sure.
Yeah.
What, going back to the marketing question, you said you had 1 million hits to the website. Okay. But we only had six sales. What kind of metrics do you look at? Just sales, or is there more things that you're looking for? Go ahead.
That is like conversion rates, cost per click, customer acquisition rates. These are all things that you have to look at very closely, because marketing is never a finished thing. It's always like an ongoing.
It's evolving.
It's always evolving, and you need to adapt to make it.
Walter brings up the customer acquisition rate. That's a huge number, and a lot of marketing companies we've talked to and engaged with, and some we even used, didn't know what that was, and it was really surprising. It was something, it's a calculation based on your sales and how much money are you spending to get a sale,
to get one, a new customer.
Yeah, to get a new customer, and even if the first number is through the roof high, it still gives you a point of reference, and it gives you, a stepping stone to. So, all right, how do we get this, improve this?
Sure.
And they'll give you like different indications of how you're doing, as a company. So, for an example, like the retention rate, it tells you if you have 70 to 80, the quality of your product is not the issue, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So,
but you're probably not getting a ton of new people either. And that's why you need the cost per click. But then there is a difference between a cost per click and then conversion rate, because cost per click is just somebody checking out your website. But then, how many of these people have actually bought the product, and how much money did that took to this entire process? What percentage of all these people who checked out your product actually purchased? So all of these things, you have to take into consideration.
What about, being that's really, really interesting. Your top 3 states, California, New York, and West Virginia. When you're dealing with, some of these national retailers and national brands, is there a prejudice against West Virginia company, being a West Virginia company at all?
I think, so when we first started, I think, because we have an
office in Palo Alto.
Yeah, and that's on our thing, because it does lend some credibility, because who are we?
No.
But with regards to all of our science, we used world-class labs that are internationally known. So everything we do, we try to position it in a manner that makes us look legitimate.
Well, I understand. No, what I'm saying is,
but West Virginia, people are kind of like, huh?
We have we have horrible stereotypes.
Yeah, absolutely. And
the jokes, and they get old, and I don't laugh at them anymore.
Yeah.
And So I think I guess what I'm trying to say is I think what you're doing is good for Huntington, good for West Virginia, for our credibility, for our state's credibility.
Yeah. Well, I think, there's some push, obviously, with Brad Smith coming to Marshall, Joe Maxwell, there's Core 10, there's these guys that are saying, hey, tech can be done in Appalachia, and Walter and I are of this mind, biotech can be done in Appalachia as well.
Sure.
And we actually chose to be here.
Yeah.
I mean, we love the area.
Because there was push, they want, some of our partners and some of the people that we were working with wanted us to move to New Jersey or California. But, what we spend on rent for a year would be rent for a month. And it's just, why?
We can do it here.
Yeah, it just seemed foolish.
As Brett was saying, we have good help here. We have a good workforce that we can use it. And this is also home. So for us, we don't,
And, COVID helped us in a lot of different ways. Now people are very accustomed to working remotely.
That's right.
And so, like, we have a copywriter. She lives in New York. We have
our marketing guys in Kansas City.
Yeah.
Our CEO is in Maryland. So we have like all of this.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah. It's brave new world.
Yeah.
So looking ahead, what are your future plans for Serucell?
Well, launching more products is one of them. So we have an exfoliant that we want to launch very soon that is already formulated. We have a hair product that it is very excited. All of the preclinical trials, are very good, and continue developing our medical side as well. Serucell now, there are two companies, that is Serucell Cosmetics and Serucell Bio. Serucell Bio is our medical arm. We currently have 2 clinical trials, which are with 2 major universities enrolling patients, and just continue pushing the medical side of it, and then and just launching more products on the cosmetic side. I think that's the
We're excited about the clinical trials. It's actually our recovery, which was the post procedure. So we're in a radiation burn treatment. There's no real treatment for that for people getting radiation therapy for cancer. So our pilot studies have shown that decreased pain, increased healing, and decreased cosmetic effects from radiation. So we're excited about that. And we're also in a scar reduction study, so post-operative scar reduction. So people have major surgery, well, they can have less scarring.
Is everything over the counter, or this?
Yeah, everything's over the counter, right?
Everything's over the counter.
Yeah. So we're in talks with some other academic centers to hopefully do some. These studies they increase value for the company, but they really validate the company. And so again, this is how we take a small company out of West Virginia and make it a legitimate company worldwide.
Do you think could you all be acquired one day? Is that
absolutely? Yeah, I think, and Walt and I talk about this often, most large pharmaceutical companies or cosmetic companies, they're so big that they don't innovate very well.
Sure.
And so it's just easier for them to acquire and then assimilate.
Right.
Bring in a new technology,
Sure.
to create themselves.
Sure.
So that's the way that kind of works. But yeah, I mean, there's a strong possibility that one day we will be acquired, but we really hope that we can keep our manufacturing in Huntington, and because there is no need for us to be in Palo Alto. I mean, if we can produce here, there is no reason for us to be there.
Yeah, so based on your experience, and I'm kind of getting towards the end of this, what advice would you give to entrepreneurs that are considering taking a product that started here in Huntington, started in our region nationally?
Well, I think any entrepreneur, Walter and I did a business incubator several years ago, and because we weren't business people by any stretch, and so it changed our thinking about how to approach things. I think you have to have a good product. That's first and foremost.
Good product, yeah.
Because that saves you so much pain. And then at that point, work on relationships, work on events, things that can that will elevate you. And it's after 20 years, maybe you'll be an overnight success, right?
And you don't need to be an expert on everything, but you need to understand all of the different pieces that basically make your business run.
That's right.
You don't need to be a marketing expert, you don't need to be a production, but you need to understand. It's like, you heard some of these very successful entrepreneurs. They began as at the lowest of the lowest into a particular firm, and they grow up. And what happens when you have that trajectory is that you understand how your business runs.
The whole thing from the bottom.
The whole thing from
Absolutely.
the bottom. And that's one of the main things that you have to, that I think is understanding your business, understanding your customer, who you're targeting, and as Brad mentioned, having a good product. It's the main thing, because if you don't have a good product, it's already hard. So
you're doing a disservice to yourself. You probably shouldn't fool around with it.
Sure.
It's Walt speaks to something really smart there about learning the different roles in the business. Because when when we have all these, we contract out different people for media or whatever. Now we can have an informed discussion, and
that's right.
You get more value for what you. It's less of them lecturing. It's now, hey, we're peers. This is what we're doing. This is what we want to achieve. How can we do this?
Right.
And so
I tell people, anytime I talk to a young person, either that's in college now or starting their first job, learn everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
Learn everything.
Yeah.
And I've said this before. And one, you'll be harder to be replaced. If you're the guy or girl that can do everything, just learn everything. And like you said, same thing. That's kind of the advice there. Know everything from the
we always
bottom
say
up.
Make yourself an asset. That's our culture. It's like, how can we make ourselves better and make it better for somebody else?
And understand your business from beginning to end, from manufacturing to marketing, distribution, everything. So that's going to make your life a lot easier, and it's going to allow you to make better informed decisions that is going to lead you to success.
This is going off topic, but still interesting. You talked about you can do this in Huntington. It's cheaper, more cost effective, I should say, to do this in Huntington versus a California or a New York or Jersey. Is anyone using your story to sell to other people to do business in West Virginia? If not, why not?
I don't think so.
I don't think.
Yeah, we need to work on that. I mean, seriously, people. Again, you're talking about.
We were surprised we got this invitation.
I think that a lot of people think that we are in California because we do have an office there.
I got it.
When I don't think a lot of people understand that our manufacturing facility is actually here.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
Did not know until Tricia. We were brainstorming on this and came up with this idea, and I still don't think I realized that you were actually doing the manufacturing in Huntington.
You'll have to come by the lab.
Love to.
I mean, it's cool.
Yeah.
Tricia Ball has been such a champion.
She's been great.
Yeah. Anything I missed?
No, man.
No,
I don't think.
No.
I mean, that's covered a lot of ground.
I mean, we are here to help, and hopefully we can, have a positive impact into the community, and as we grow, Huntington will grow with us.
Man, we have so many projects. If we can just get over this hump, I mean, we have more projects and ideas than we have years in our life.
That's right.
And we're excited.
This has been In Your Business. I'm Reeves Kurtner. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this podcast, please like, subscribe, share, and even leave us a review. Season 1 of In Your Business is presented by Moses Auto Mall of Huntington, mosesmeansmore.com, and powered by the Huntington Regional Chamber of Commerce and Kindred Communications.